you said there's kind of cracks forming in the land development side, and you said the real estate in our area is very spotty. What about the cracks forming in the land development side?
Well, just in the sense of there's developers that have been, holding chunks of raw land. So developers typically get a pretty bad name, right? Because people would think they're greedy, or and of course they are. Like, they're literally out there to make money, right? But they are the speculative ones that keep the housing supply coming. And so if you look at housing starts now across Canada, they are down, like especially in detached homes, but just in general, even condos. Like the condo, at the same time, of course, the condo sale side is like 90% in Toronto. It's 90% below the 10-year average. That's how bad sales are, right? It's a full-on crisis. And so that's why I said, I think last week, about how there's no crisis in supply. It's just the wrong supply. And obviously, we're not all moving to the GTA, right? But I think on the land side here, you see it where more and more pieces are coming for sale. And there's lots of pieces, even in Chilliwack where we live, there's like nice chunks of land that are nice apartment sites. And 3 years ago, somebody would have bought those, or they'd already be building, and nobody's building. Like, everybody sees that rent prices are coming down. And yeah, the value of money is going up. So we're just going to probably have a correction in the rent prices, correction in obviously hard assets to some degree too.
Happy I sold my place a couple years ago.
Yeah. Well, and then on the flip side, like, if you look at the lag time from when interest rates start dropping when you're entering a recession, which there again, if it weren't for immigration, we would be in a bad recession. It's just not talked about because it's been masked the last 4 years by insane amounts of people coming into the country. But it takes a long time before you hit a bottom. Like, and it's historical. You look in the 90s, I think, peak price in the 90s to when it bottomed out was like a 5 or 6 year run, right? Like, it takes a long time because, of course, you have people all the way through buying up, quote unquote, the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And there's always opportunity in every market.
Yeah.
It's just, I see it on land where there's pieces around us that I know people are paying. Like, land, often there's wealthy developers that own it outright, but a lot of like newer developers are paying like 14-15% interest rates. Well, when you have that kind of cash burn on a chunk of land, like, that chunk of land needs to be going up, not down in price, right? Over the course of 2 or 3 years.
Yes,
right?
100%.
In Surrey, I know of one piece in Surrey that I'm familiar with, and their carrying cost is $1 million a year on a $9 million chunk of land, right? So pretty crazy.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll sell my MDT shares soon. My small ownership stake in that, and hopefully land keeps going down, and
buy some gold. Maybe gold's on the
Bitcoin.
At the marriage retreat, I had dinner on Friday night with a guy who's made a fortune in Bitcoin, like early onset guy, 2015, young couple, really cool story. And then another guy was a commodity gold and silver guy. He thought we should be backing up the bus and buying silver. But silver, people have always said that, and silver historically it's always underpriced. I think it's just not rare enough, but anyways.
Interesting.
People would disagree. I'm sure there's listeners that have lots of silver and would disagree.
Okay. Hot topic. I don't know why you put this in here. This is the
Not hot?
Well, not hot, no. The weight of women.
Oh.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, bringing the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.